Welcome to the Weekend View. Today, we're talking about Nicole Kidman's new movie, Babygirl. It's igniting a sexual revolution. The age that singer Bad Bunny thought his life was over, and why Meghan Markle is getting trolled by haters for her new series, With Love, Meghan. Plus, someone who's just reached new heights of helicopter parenting. The Weekend View starts now.
The very first episode of The Weekend View, streaming on ABC News Live. Woo woo! Woo! So every year there's a sexually charged movie that has audiences in heat.
Oh yeah.
And this year it is Babygirl.
Oh yeah.
Nicole Kidman stars as a powerful, successful, and married CEO of a certain age who starts up a relationship with her much younger intern. Watch the clip.
How did it start?
I see myself as a
Power-hungry personality?
You think that's what I am?
I think you like to be told what to do. Sorry, I didn't mean to. That was incredibly inappropriate.
Your behavior is unacceptable.
Is it? If we're gonna do this, we need to set some rules that you and I both agree on.
Did you order this?
Starting with, I tell you what to do and you do it.
So he's telling her, I know you want to be told what to do, right?
Yeah.
Seems the opposite. I'm telling him what to do.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't like to be told what to do. So I don't think this would do it for me. And she's also married to Antonio Banderas in the movie. So I'm
Cheating
not
on him is not super believable.
Yeah, it's not super believable. But what I will say that I love about this movie is that they are portraying women of a certain age, meaning women over 50, I'm 56, as sexual beings. It's almost like you're over 30 and all of a sudden, like, you don't have sex anymore. That's
30?
ridiculous.
And
You're not even at your peak yet at 30.
That is true. Women actually peak
Peak at
sexually
36.
later.
40.
Oh,
What?
40.
Maybe 50.
But there is there's this growing genre of movies, and there's a huge appetite for them. The idea of You with Anne Hathaway, where she's 20 years older than the man she's with. Lonely Planet, this is another that shows women continue to be sexual as they're older. They can also be with younger men. And I will say, I had a hard time with You're Married to Antonio Banderas, who cheats on him. However, Harris Dickinson, the actor in it, he's very, very handsome in this, so that kind of helps.
Beyond just sexual being, women were one-dimensional for decades. If you weren't the wife or the mistress or the mom, that was the end of your role. There used to be movies, I think there's a documentary with Deborah Winger about Where's Deborah Winger?
Yeah.
Women like fall off the flat earth at a certain point.
Yes.
Yet we all know as women, and many women out here, we're complicated beings. Like, we are CEOs of companies.
Yeah.
We are like, so when you look at like Pamela Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis in The Last Showgirl, Demi Moore in The Substance, she's 62, Jean Smart, who's hitting her stride at 73, Jodie Foster in Nyad and True Detective.
Sometimes you get better with age.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, we have women out there that are finally getting their roles.
This movie, though, is about, are you supposed to tell a man what to do in bed? I find that...
If they're not doing it, you do tell them.
I don't think I would have had the confidence. At 20, I wouldn't have had the confidence, but baby, at 53, I got a manual.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you got, what you got to touch, when you got to touch it, and how you got to touch it.
You have like a whole map.
No,
But you have to do that if you want to have a successful, loving, sexual, open
Well, if you have
relationship.
How open?
Open with your partner, to be clear.
Not that open. No.
I think that you need to find a guy who's been with an older woman, and she trained him.
So there was this study that actually said a lot of couples would rather divorce than go through therapy and talk through what they're not finding sexually in their relationship. And that I don't understand. The best part of being married is the intimacy as just humans, that you can tell them anything, you can share anything, and that also extends to your needs and your wants.
And that's
You know, I think
healthy.
it's Hollywood actually catching up to real life, because if you see Cher, Cher is 78 and she's dating Alexander Edwards, who's 39.
Check that out.
Jocelyn Wildenstein, who just died, the cat lady, you guys remember? She was engaged to
Okay,
Lloyd Klein
Jocelyn.
for like years.
What made Babygirl so great is it also flipped the narrative that's so common on the head of the male CEO is expected to be with the 20-something intern, but now it's a woman. It's a role reversal that I think we need to see more
Well,
of.
remember Glenn Close said here on the show, which I thought was awesome, in 1997 in Air Force One. She was a female vice president, and they asked her to cry when he was stuck in the sky, and she insisted the script change. She said, no, because a woman wouldn't cry in that situation.
Oh my God,
and
thank God. I thought you were going to tell me she had an orgasm in Air Force One.
No, he did.
I was getting a little concerned where this story was
but,
going.
like, how bold of women to step up, and I think some of the change we're seeing is women are now running these
This is a female
decisions.
director, so this is through a woman's gaze.
And it's also Glenn Close. She's been around for so long. She's very established. She can speak. If you're a young girl, you can't. Sorry.
Hopefully things are
But
changing.
more women are finding their
How
power,
about
I
this
think.
one? Singer Bad Bunny. Is that his name?
Yeah.
No,
that's
his
not
name
his real
is
name.
Benito. His name is Benito.
First name
Bad
Bad,
Bunny.
second name
I like
Bunny.
it though. Bad Bunny.
I have a feeling Bad Bunny's well trained.
He just hit the ripe old age. Listen to this one. He just hit the ripe old age of 30, but recently told Apple Music that it was his 20th birthday that left him feeling depressed because he felt like his life was over at 30.
Wait, I can beat him on this.
20.
I think that you need to listen to Cher's take on this. We have a clip.
What year would you turn it back to?
Oh, I'm dyslexic, so I don't know the year, but I was 60.
When you were 16?
Yeah,
That
no,
would be-
60.
Oh, 60 was your best year.
No, it wasn't my best year. It just seemed like a good number. I mean, when you're 78, 60 sounds great.
If she could turn back time.
What age would you
What
go
is
back?
your best? What would be your best?
I like it right now.
Yeah.
I do. This is my best decade.
Yeah.
I feel strongly. I've liked every age as I've gotten older, and it's not because I like being 35 more than 23, but you have perspective and confidence and clarity that I think you don't necessarily have when you're younger.
From all
You've
those
learned, you've
times.
matured,
Well,
and
I
you learn
think
what to appreciate.
I wouldn't change the age I am right now, although I think the world sees me as 28.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Definitely.
So I have to tell you, Bad Bunny has just released a new record. It's called Debí Tomar Más Fotos.
It's really good.
It's like an ode to Puerto Rico, and but he was telling the stories the other day. There's a TikTok trend because Debí tomar más fotos means I should have taken more pictures. And there's a lot of people putting up videos of with their parents who are gone, or their pets who are gone, or their friends who are gone, and they showed it to Bad Bunny, and his eyes started welling up with tears. And so I think he said he had reflected a lot on himself when he was doing this record. And I think one of the things that resulted from that is living in the present.
It's very hard to do.
Well, you know,
It takes a lifetime to figure it out.
I do too, and I would agree with what everyone is saying. Like, I'm in my 50s, and for so long you hear people saying, "Oh, you're over the hill," or "That's middle age." It's really past middle age, actually, for many people. But I'm living my best life now. I'm secure in who I am. I love my husband. I love
your husband too.
Yeah, he's great.
Never mind.
He's just a great guy, and I love the human beings my children have become. But I will say this about Bad Bunny, saying that at 20, he didn't want to live, but he was also studying and working at a grocery store, and so he wasn't living his purpose. And so I think when you aren't living his purpose, which clearly is to be an entertainer, to be a singer, to be a musician, that can really derail you. That can make you feel sad. That can make you feel depressed. And so the takeaway that I got from it was take the chance, live in your purpose, and find that happiness.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think
he
he's
was also
finding
saying
that
goodbye
now.
to his childhood. 20 is like you're over now.
Yeah, but you know what?
He
It's just
says
the
that.
beginning. You
I know,
can't
but
even
you're
break it.
finished with your childhood.
He
That's the
says
end of it.
that now when he shows up at family functions and things, he's now 30. He constantly gets asked, "When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids?"
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, good. So it's not just women getting asked those questions.
Yeah,
But I
that's
cried
true.
when I turned 10 because I told my sister who was 16 that I was now double digits.
Double digits.
And I would probably die double digits.
I couldn't wait to
The
be double
future
digits.
looked bleak at 10, so Bad Bunny and I should talk.
I get it. And we'll be right back.
The Weekend View is sponsored by Rock Skincare.
working royal, Meghan Markle is rebranding herself on the new Netflix lifestyle show with Love Meghan, which has a lot of haters trolling her online. Yeah. See what you think. Watch.
We're not in the pursuit of perfection. Woke us all up. We're in the pursuit of joy. Love is in the details.
I have to do it totally wrong
To get it totally right. Look at what we made. Guy's snoring.
Okay, she's getting a lot of flack. People are saying it looks boring, that she's unrelatable, and that it feels contrived. Of course, these are the haters.
They just want to hate on her.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm watching every single episode. I loved the trailer. I loved the promo. When Martha Stewart first started doing this, no one was saying all these things. This has more to do with the fact that people want to hate on Meghan Markle than I think, this topic. I garden, as all of you know. I've got 1 million animals. I raise bees and cultivate honey. She's doing things that, there go my beautiful garden.
How does she have time to do this
That's what I say respectfully, and I love Meghan Markle, but my favorite Meghan Markle is the one who's doing charitable works abroad, meeting with underprivileged kids. This felt it's beautifully shot.
Why does she have to be one-dimensional?
It just feels a little bit maybe tone deaf. I feel like people are struggling to make ends meet. You're working around the clock. You're maybe microwaving a meal because you got to feed your kids, work, and get a bunch done. I would love to have pretty pastries and honey and all that. Okay, wait, but I don't have time.
Can I say something to you
because
about
they
that?
can't afford the grocery stores
I do like
anymore.
that.
You know
aspect.
something? During the Depression, when I was born, during the Depression, back in 1929, Hollywood only had movies about rich people.
That's true. That were aspirational.
Not just that, people were sick of seeing themselves in poverty-stricken. They wanted to see how rich people were doing. So sometimes it works to see somebody who's married to a prince, who's beautiful, who knows how to garden and make cupcakes.
Actually, put it that way, I might like it. A different shift of what I'm reading about is not just that it's wealthy or aspirational, but that it lacks a certain authenticity. And what I mean by that is we're living in a time of not Martha Stewart, not printed magazines, it's Instagram, social media, trying to reveal what your real feelings are. It's all about transparency. And she's shooting all this, saying, come into my kitchen.
Social media is all about transparency.
Wait, Sunny,
that's the highlight reel. People lie on social
but Sunny,
media.
wait 1 second. It's the YouTube of showing behind the scenes. This isn't her kitchen. So what she's doing is she's saying, come to my home. This is what my life looks like. But it's a rented property. So I think it's this feeling of Jennifer Garner had my pretend cooking show
which I'm
that she did,
obsessed with.
and people love it. But it's in her kitchen.
So that people can go and show up, and all the haters can show up to her real house.
No, you don't have to give them the address.
Security.
But my point is that you can show people an insight because I didn't know she could do it. Bravo to all her skills. I can't do that. But I think if you're going to sell it as I bring in my close friends, we're having coffee, it's a kitchen table, but it's not your kitchen table, and you rented the house and it's a location shoot. It just misses something there.
Listen, I don't know if you've ever had shooting in your house, but it's incredibly intrusive, particularly if you've got children and pets and other things around.
And you're raising a royal.
What I found out
differently there.
Yeah,
Okay, what I found out though was she's actually not rebranding herself. She's kind of going back to her old brand because before the TIG. Before she married Harry, she had a lifestyle blog that people loved.
Yeah, she's
and she's going back to all of that. What I didn't get, and I still don't get, is people whose existence, raison d'être, is just trolling and hating on Instagram. That's why on Twitter. That's how they exist. That's getting the clicks and the coverage from doing that. We're hating on her. When you go on Twitter or you go on Instagram and you start bitching and moaning about Meghan Markle, you know what's going to happen? The algorithm is going to flood you with more material about Meghan Markle.
No, there's a lot of and we could all afford to be kinder online and not look for ways to attack people just because we disagree with them. But I think, listen, there is an audience for this. I absolutely, now that I'm thinking about it, I would fall asleep to this. I think the one thing is we have to.
I'm the audience.
There's a lot that a lot of people are struggling, and I think just showing that sort of sensitivity to the moment that we're living in, that we can't all have these gorgeous kitchens and these taking our time to make like 3-course meals and having honey and trees and all that.
Yeah,
that
but
was
like,
my
I don't have
issue.
a problem with that stuff. I would say if you're going to show us your friends, maybe meet out at a coffee thing and do a we're all real friends, because it feels like you're selling. When I watched the promo, I was like, oh, this is so sweet. I had to be told this isn't her home. This is a show.
She's digging in the dirt, people. She's digging in the
someone
dirt.
else's
She's showing
garden.
people how to.
They're jealous. They're just jealous because
I just wanna see-
she's pretty, she's successful, and
Yeah.
she,
No,
I
and
love her.
she bagged herself a prince.
But you know
I
what?
love
And if you
her. I
don't-
just
if
wasn't
you
my
don't-
favorite.
If you don't like her, if you don't like the show, then don't freaking watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another topic. Another topic. You know, there's a lot going around lately about these helicopter parents, of which you are one of those.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know that it's such a good idea to be a
zoom.
helicopter parent. Do you? What do you think of that?
I have no children. I have no helicopter.
You helicopter your dog.
And?
Just saying. So,
Look, I think that it's great to people have to parent, right? So I do parent, and kids need examples, and they need guidelines, and they need to know that they are loved and cared for, and that's what I try to do. Now, this article that we're talking about, you've got helicopter parent. We have a clip of helicopter parenting at college. Parents wanting to move into children's dorms and email professors. Can we take a look at that?
Is it too much to ask the college to install cameras in my child's dorm room? I just want to make sure they're sleeping enough and staying on top of their cleaning and laundry. It's hard to trust they'll remember everything on their own. And before anyone worries about roommate privacy, he is in a single room. That's psychotic.
This is, I would agree, it's psychotic. I mean, this is from the what podcast?
I've had it.
Well, I do not want to see what Gabriel is doing in his dorm room. I just don't. I don't want to see the messy clothes in the corner.
That's not what you don't want to see.
I definitely don't want to see anything else.
You also see a whole group of parents coming up making phone calls on their children's behalf, like calling it, getting involved in
Job
social things.
interviews,
I
yeah.
think there's a way to parent that's a little more 80s and 90s that had a more hands-off approach, which is if you're a good parent, you teach your kids to leave, and they better be ready when you're not there.
But what you said just strikes a note with me, because a chord with me, because I'm sure, as we all do, I get calls, about people getting internships here or internships there, or getting people into college. Not that I have any power to do so, but people think I do. And I always say to them, if your kid wants a recommendation letter for anything,
they have to call.
That kid has to call me and tell me about
Absolutely.
himself. I will not do a thing for a parent calling.
And when they do, you say, I don't mind if someone asks, can I give my child your email address? They'd like to reach out.
Right.
But if you send your parent in, and I don't care who your parent is, in my mind, I'm like,
Agreed.
done.
And I don't have kids, but I had to grow up fast, and I actually think being forced to be independent young actually really helps you.
It's
You learn life
very
skills, and you're more
I
prepared.
went to college at 16.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to be pretty self-sufficient. And by the time the kid is in college, they really need to have it kind of together.
They need to forget things and mess things up and learn.
You learn from mistakes, yeah.
all right.
Were you a helicopter parent with Eve?
I was a bit because I was a single mother. I had to be a hovering mother. And now that I'm an old woman, she is a helicopter daughter. She'll say, "Ma, I'm worried about the norovirus. Don't touch any surfaces."
See, I like that.
Yeah. So the roles have been reversed, and we'll be right back. I sat down with the fabulous Brian on the Behind the Table podcast this week. Take a look.
Pamela Anderson, she's in this terrific new movie, and she's made a lot of news because she's decided to stop wearing makeup in public.
Right.
She's not against makeup, is what she says, but she doesn't feel like going through the process is worth the effort anymore.
Right.
You see this every once in a while. I feel like every couple of years, someone like a newscaster does the makeup, does the news without makeup.
Good luck to them. I take off my makeup, people are adjusting their radios. So no, it's not going to happen. But what she is doing is good for her career.
Tell me why.
Well, because for years she was this hot number, taking her clothes off in, what's the name of the show?
Playboy? Oh, but Baywatch. She didn't take her clothes off in Baywatch.
Well, she was in a bathing suit.
She was slow motion running in a bathing suit.
And also take her clothes off in Playboy.
Playboy, yeah.
I'm not really, I don't follow those shows, but I know that about her.
Sure.
And she's too old to do that now. She's 57 or something years old.
Yeah.
She's pretty, very pretty, with or without makeup. She's beautiful. And to take the makeup off is signaling. Just like when you put glasses on, you signal that you're smart, which is why you wear them.
I have 20/20 vision.
It's not working.
No, it's just a desperate attempt.
Like when she takes the makeup off, it signals I'm a serious actress.
Oh.
And I think that's a smart idea.
So you think it's strategy?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And it's a smart strategy because every actress wants to be like Meryl Streep or Judi Dench. They want to, and Helen Mirren. They want to go into the sunset with a great career. Look at Glenn Close, who was on today.
Yes.
Glenn can be 90 and still work.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what Pamela wants to do.
Yeah,
work. It was as a series, and she's very good in this movie.
That's
The Last Showgirl is great.
She got nominated for a Golden Globe, and she talked a lot about how she's felt underestimated through her whole career, possibly because of how beautiful she
Demi
is.
said the same thing.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like that when you were starting out in comedy? Did you feel like you weren't being taken seriously, or?
No, I was just told by executives and network people and agents. I was too New York, which I think is code for too Jewish or too ethnic.
Well, you're not Jewish.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think that was what even somebody even said when I got this show. Somebody I knew in the past told Bill Getty, she's too local.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have a New York sensibility general and an accent, I guess. But
it's part of the country.
Right. No, it is for sure.
You can't have everybody coming from Iowa.
Now, what about as a female comic? Did you feel like that was something?
Well, yeah. We were told certain things like, if you went on the road and you did a show, they would only have one woman on the bill out of three of us.
Really?
Yeah, because they didn't want two women to compete with each other, which was ridiculous. It's total BS.
Absolutely.
Because the boys talk about the same things over and over again. Masturbation, their mother-in-law. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. But women, we have our issues also, but we're not that similar. Think of the different comedians you know.
No, absolutely. Nikki Glaser, who just did the Golden Globes, did a really great job, I thought.
She did.
Yeah, that's a tough gig.
Well, the one who really made it incredibly memorable is Ricky
Gervais. Yeah.
Oh my God, he took on that audience like I've never seen anybody do that.
No.
Very glib. Also, he has a way with words. He's British.
Yes.
And he kept saying, "I don't care. I don't care."
And I believe it. Much like you, I think he actually doesn't care all that much.
He doesn't.
Have you ever hosted a big award show?
No.
Would you ever want to?
Well, I was the first female roast master.
That's right.
I mean,
that's kind of along those lines.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to do an award show?
No.
It seems like it's kind of a thankless gig.
I don't want to do it. No.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything that gives me stress.
Okay.
I'm serious.
This show not stressful for you?
It is a little bit, but not that much.
I want to go back to Nikki Glaser for a second.
Oh,
she
yeah.
said that she didn't get paid as much as male former hosts of the Golden Globes. She wasn't upset about it because it was such a big opportunity for her, and she did so well. I'm hearing they're going to bring her back and pay her a little better. But she said, she would have done this for free, probably. What do you think of that?
I think that those are, how many words is that? I would have done this for free. 7 words you never say. I would have done this for free.
Really?
Why? That throws a monkey wrench into other women's jobs. You wouldn't say that.
Oh,
yes,
that's interesting.
Of course, you would do it for free because it's good for your career and you're good at it and it's fun. That doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid for it. What, do you only get paid for things you're miserable about? That was a mistake.
Yeah, especially on the way up, you got to kind of take every opportunity to get paid.
Come on,
when
Nikki,
you
if you're listening, don't say that again.
All right.
You're ruining it for me.
All right, we'll be right back. No, there's no more. This is it.
Well, with that great news, we're ready to end the first episode.
Great weekend.
Take a little time to enjoy the weekend view.